The main question that I get all the time is, how did you lose your leg? Which is a reasonable question. Um, I was on my way to work. It was an early morning. This was September of 2022. And my truck was broken down. And so I had to take my motorcycle in. It was a 2018 Ducati Scrambler. And I didn't think anything about it. I was like, well, I'm just going to go take the bike. It was not a big deal because I've done it before. And it was dark, and I was driving down the road. It's a 20-minute drive to work. I was a quarter mile away from the office, and there was a big curve, and there was a side road. And there was a guy that was trying to come into that side road, and he just never saw me, and he T-boned me. And, you know, it didn't even hurt, really, I guess. Maybe it did. I don't know. It was kind of blurry. But I do remember, a lot of the things. He hit me and I went flying, and I was just like, I remember thinking, you idiot. Like, why would you hit me? And I landed on the ground, and I looked back at my leg, and I thought, it was still like on me. And but I couldn't move it. And I was like, oh crap, it's broken. I'd never broken a bone in my life. I'd never been to the hospital. I'd never, like, nothing. And so I drug my leg out of the road, even though it was still attached to me. It was just like limping behind me, and I drug it out of the road. And I remember thinking, like, man, dang it, like, this is going to be really inconvenient. And I just thought broken bone. And there was an ambulance close by, and the ambulance took me to Fort Worth. And so I went to JPS Fort Worth, and my wife showed up. Of course, everybody's on the phone. I didn't even call my wife. It was one of my friends who saw me on the side of the road called my wife. So I go into surgery, and I wake up, and I look at her, and I say, did they take my leg? And she kind of nodded her head, and I was like, oh. I was like, that sucks. Because I don't think I understood the gravity of the situation at that time. I just thought, I've seen people with prosthetic legs, and I thought, well, you'll just kind of bounce back. It's not a big deal. Of course, I was under a lot of drugs, so it took a year and a half before I was able to get a prosthetic leg. A year and a half I was on crutches and in a wheelchair. Now, I still use my crutches and I still use my wheelchair, but for that period of time, it was very difficult because I didn't have a prosthetic leg, and I felt like a freak, and I felt like everybody was looking at me, and I felt like I was not in a good place. I had always been an avid race fan. And one of the guys that I'd been talking to said, hey, you need a distraction. You need something that you can get your mind off of all of this. And so I got my first steering wheel. I got the little $300 Logitech steering wheel. And I got a PlayStation 5, and I got the World of Outlaws dirt racing game. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. But I knew, I was like, this is something here. I'm really, really enjoying this. And so I'd seen where some guys were running iRacing, and so I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. I kind of went overboard, and I think some of this was trauma induced, but I went overboard, and I got a really big screen. Now I have the triple monitors, but I got this. I got the next level racing seat, and then I went and got the Simagic Alpha Ultimate. I got the Simagic GT Pro steering wheel. I got the P1000 pedals. I've got a butt kicker. I got the new butt kicker. I went overboard with it. But I've been racing like this for a couple years now. I guess almost 3 years now. Another question that I get is, how difficult is it to race with one leg? And it's hard. Dirt ovals are a little easier because you don't have to use as much brake. Some guys use brake, but I obviously can't because I don't have my left leg. But I have recently got into GT racing, and in GT racing, you 100% have to have a brake. It is extremely difficult, like really difficult. But I'm passionate about it, and I like it. Einbein is German for one leg. Some people call it Inden, but it's Einbein, like Einbein. And it means one leg in German. And so I thought, oh, that's kind of clever. I'll just call that my racing team. So I am Zach Stevens with Einbein Racing, or One Leg Racing. That's kind of what this channel is about. It's just, I'm not the best racer at all. I am passionate about it, and I love it very much. But as far as like an actual racer goes, I'm not the best. I am missing a leg, and I love racing. And so I'm combining the two into a YouTube channel. If you have any questions about what it's like to be an amputee, what my prosthetics look like, how I drive without a leg, like, I'm not afraid of any question. I'm not afraid of the truth. I love talking about it. So especially if you know somebody that's had some sort of handicap, impairment, or something wrong with them that has hindered them some way in their life, I would love to talk about that. So I like helping people kind of work through trauma, basically, just because I've gone through trauma myself, and it is very difficult. And so I'm hoping that this channel maybe helps work on some of that. But anyway, that's it. This is my channel, and I am just hoping to share my passion for racing and maybe help some people along the way. Thanks for watching.